Hi everyone and welcome to Can You See Me? This is a podcast where I guide you on a journey of self-discovery and purpose finding. I am your host, Nanga Gashie, and welcome. Happy International Women's Day. And so today I want to celebrate every woman out there. The moms, the sisters, the wives, the daughters, the aunties, the nieces. I just want to celebrate every woman this fantastic day. And I think the question I would really like to ask us this beautiful day is, why is it that we celebrate this specific day? Because you see, at the end of the day, we need to understand some of these things that we do as part of our cultures. And it is also important for us not to miss out on the value of such celebrations. And today, for the women out there, on behalf of the men, I just want to celebrate you and say that you're wonderful people and that we love you. And of course, for men, I'm not an authority in discussing women matters. But as a man, I have a few strategies that we as men can be able to employ, even as we interact with the women around us, that we can be able to help our women to discover who they are and also in their journeys of finding out why they were created and why they exist in this season and in this generation. So the men in the house, these are some of the things that we can be able to do. And so one of the things that I'd like to encourage all the men out there is that we need to be able to listen to the women around us and also to be able to validate their experiences. We know that as men, our experiences and our journeys, of course, they are a bit different from the ladies and the women that are around us. And so it is not wise for us to basically think that our experiences can be the same. And so we need to have an ear, a listening ear, so that we can be able to listen to them. Even if sometimes we don't understand some of the things that they tell us, some of the things and some of the experiences that they are going through. But then we need to just sit down, create a space for them, and you don't need even to give them any advice or anything. You just need to give them a listening ear. And by so doing, we will encourage them to be able to discover who they are, that even as women, even as they evolve, as they become more mature, even as they grow in their own personal lives, they need to have confidence that there are men in their lives that are able to just listen to them without any judgment. And so also another strategy that I think as men we need to also employ in our own personal lives is that we need to challenge some of the stereotypes that we have in our culture. I know that we are living in a culture whereby the women are not appreciated. The women are not to be seen or to be heard, but they're just supposed to exist somehow. But we need to be able to challenge some of those norms, some of those stereotypes. And we need to embrace the women in our lives, and we need to make them feel special. And we need to also give them space and opportunities to do great things. Because I believe every woman out there, young and old, they have potential in their lives and they can be able to do great and mighty things in their own personal lives, in their communities, and also in the nation, and also on the continent as a whole. So we need to challenge some of these things that we have grown up listening to. And we need to embrace these women as equal partners, even as we contribute towards the growth of our own lives and also the growth in our communities. And also another strategy that we can employ as men is we need to foster healthy relationships that are based on respect. And I know that we live in a very sexualized society. And most of the men, sadly, this is the reality that we have in our society. That most of us as men, we normally just sexualize the women around us, and we don't look at them as sisters, as younger sisters, as people who we need to value, as people we need to protect. And so we have a mindset that these people are just sex objects. But we need to challenge that as well, and we need to embrace them, and we look at them with a different eye so that we can be able to co-work together even as we walk on this journey we call life. And by the time we get to that point where we truly embrace them for who they are and not just look at them as objects, I can assure you that we can be able as men to contribute positively in the lives of the women that are around us. That even on this day, that is the International Women's Day, we need to celebrate the achievements of the women around us. And so these women do not necessarily have to be CEOs. They do not necessarily have to be entrepreneurs. They do not necessarily have to be people who have accomplished much in their different spaces. But we need to celebrate even the little things that they do for us. You know, even the little things like the food that they prepare for us. Even the things, the little things, just you can think about it as a man wherever you are. The things that the women around you have contributed with, we need to celebrate them. We need to celebrate those little achievements. Even the personal growth in their own personal journeys. We need to celebrate every milestone in their own personal lives. And with that, then we can be able to challenge them and give them morale and psyche to even pursue greater achievements as they continue on their own unique personal lives. And also another strategy that we can employ as men is that we need to support the mental well-being of the women around us. I know that most of the women, they go through some unique challenges. I might not personally know, but with the little experiences that I have with the women around me, I know that they usually have a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress because of the challenges and the demands of the society that they live in. I know that they are supposed to be successful in their own unique way, in their own careers, in their own businesses. They are supposed and expected to be successful. And at the same time, they're also expected to be good wives. They're supposed to be good girlfriends, good spouses. They're supposed to be good parents as well. And so with all the demands that surround them, then sometimes we find that they usually are in a space whereby they are full of anxiety and a lot of depression. And so we need to support their mental well-being. We need to create an environment around them where they can be able to just pour out their lives, to be able to just pour out their experiences so that they can be healthy mentally, physically, spiritually. And I can assure you guys that if the women around you are healthy holistically, then you will see a version of them that is so good and so important in our communities that we live in. And also another strategy, like I said before, is we need to create safe spaces for them. They need to just come to these spaces where they can just pour out their lives, pour out their experiences without being judged because of what they think or some of the experiences that they go through. So we need to do that. We need to create an enabling environment for them so that they can be able to just pour out and just speak their lives to us as the men. And also another thing we need to do as men, this is another strategy, is we need to be open to learning and also to unlearning. I know that we live in a society that is very cultured, and there's a way that we have grown up as men, and there's what we have been taught as men. And so sometimes when we interact with these women, we realize that some of the things that we have grown up knowing as the truth, sometimes they collide with them, they clash with them. And so we need to unlearn some of these things that we have grown up knowing. And we also need to learn new ways of interacting with them, because they are important in our lives. They are very important pieces of the puzzles that we have in our own personal lives, in our communities, in our country, and in our continent, and the world at large. Another thing that we need to do is that we need also to encourage the women around us to also teach us how best we can be able to be of value to them. How can we be able to add value to them in their own unique journeys? And I think with that, we can be able to deliver on that which they expect from us as the men that surround us, and rather that surround them. And so these are some of the strategies that we can employ as the men, and so that we can be able to be of value to these women, and so that we can be able to be supportive in their endeavors, even as they pursue their own unique purposes in their lives. And so you need to stop normalizing certain things in your own personal lives. For example, if you know that your friend maybe is in a position that is not a good one, that will compromise even the relationship that she has with her partner, then it is your duty to call them out. It is your duty to just put them aside and tell them that this is not right. And because when you stand with your values, and so we can see that the younger generation who are just behind you will be able to see that the right path they're supposed to follow. And of course, we also have issues to do with indecency. The question I'm asking you is, what do you do as a person when you see your friend or your friend's daughter or your friend's niece, whoever it is, dressing in an indecent way? Do you just call them aside and just talk to them in a nice way to challenge them to do better? Or do you just let that slip away? Because you see, when you keep silent, it is also a form of just saying it is okay to continue dressing the way you dress. And of course, initially I talked about living in a sexualized society. And some of the reasons why our society is sexualized is because of how you guys dress. And also you need to understand that you're very important, you're very valuable, and also your bodies are also valuable, and you need to take care of them, so that also the next generation can be able to copy from you the values that you stand on. And also finally, there's also another area that I want to challenge you guys on. That is the issue to do with the Mubaba's culture. And also there's a statement I heard the other day that is called cryptocurrency. So are you part of the people who sleep their way to success? I want to just challenge you that you need to stand on your values, and I want to challenge you that you need to know that you have the potential, you have everything that you need to succeed. You have everything and every skill that you need. You have the space, you have the support you need from us as men to just do and pursue what you're supposed to do without having to sleep around. So even as I finalize, I just want to challenge you guys. I want you to know that you have the power, you have the authority to change society, the values in our society, the culture in our society. You have the power to do so. When you say no to the Mubaba's culture, things will change. When you say no to the over-sexualization of our society by deciding to be decent in your dressing, then things will change. When you say no to sleeping around to go to get ahead, things will change. And I want to just say this even as I conclude, that you are important, that you are valuable, and we support you and we love you. Thank you, and thank you for being a part of this episode. And I just want to thank you once again. God bless you. And I want to wish you a happy International Women's Day.